Executives, you've got to bring them into your ecosystem where you can engage, build authority, and convert. Hi, this is Paul Hitchcock, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media. In this episode of Giant TV, I'm going to break down how it all starts with the curation of a tight list, getting that into LinkedIn, and then bringing that list of your top prospects into your ecosystem where you're engaging and doing all the things you need to do. So let's go check it out. Okay, great. Thanks for being here. This is Paul Hitchcock, founder and president of Giant Jacks Media, where we help you to grow and nurture your business. Let's get into what I'm calling your ecosystem process. And this is all about getting in front of your A-list prospects where you can engage, convert, get to know them, get conversations going, and pull them in. And I want to give you a few examples before I go to the whiteboard here, is that, so I work with a lot of Vistage chairs, and they're a group that has a very specific prospect that needs to join as a member to Vistage. It's an incredible organization, and the members need to be a certain size of employees, revenue, and so they need to niche down very tightly on who they want to serve. And if they have one person from an industry group as part of their members, then they can't have the same industry. So, it's a constant massaging when they're building out their groups. And in order to get in front of that specific of a group, there's a strategy for that. Another example is someone that we've worked with who needed to get in front of Instagram influencers with a fairly large followers. And, that's a very specific target market. And so here's how we do it. Now, this is focused on LinkedIn using Sales Navigator. And first thing we do is when you're wanting to engage and reach out is obviously you've got to get your lead list. So you got to find these people and get in front of them. Classic sales funnel, make them aware of who you are. So Sales Navigator is a great tool to find and search for your target market. There's about 34 filter points, and through the use of keywords and other strategies, you can get pretty nichey on there. However, it's imperfect. And so when you get very specific, what we do is we go out and we curate the list of your prospects through services that we're using to drill down to exactly your parameters. And these are filters not only on Sales Navigator, but outside of LinkedIn, tools we have to filter down. So now we get a very niche list of exactly who you want to work with. And then we take that list and we true it up on Sales Navigator. So we go find those people on Sales Navigator and create a search list with those exact top prospects. So instead of just relying on Sales Navigator to get to that niched audience, because the filter points can be limited for certain criteria, certainly the Instagram scenario I gave you. So we'll go find these people, and then if they're on LinkedIn and they're there, we are then going to pull them into a list where we've drilled down and save it as a search list on Sales Navigator. So we get real tight with that list. Then number two, once you have that list, what we want to do is get into email nurture. So this is pulling them into your ecosystem. So there is a wrong way and a right way to nurture people through email. And the wrong way is to just start, spamming and selling not introduce yourself, not build rapport, not build credibility, which is what most people do. They just blam, start emailing, and that's not the right way to do it. You really have to understand copywriting, how to nurture, have a welcome message to your blog that you're sending out, and provide value. So with your new curated list of niche down prospects, you've got to email nurture in the right way. And this is where it's all about value, not selling. And there's a science behind it. And that's a whole nother discussion. But this is how you pull them into your ecosystem and engage and build authority, email nurture. Then you also want to have a connection campaign. So what we're trying to do here, and this is on LinkedIn, is remember, we saved this search list in Sales Navigator. They're going to be second, third level connections. There are going to be a lot of people, and you will not be connected to them. You need to get connected to them, and they need to be aware of who you are so you can pull them in and start to engage. So your connection campaign and to build this audience on LinkedIn is an outreach using personalized messages and reaching out to connect, to get into conversation. And now this is where there's some really useful tools where you can scale this and automate some of the laborious tasks involved in reaching out. And you do this in a very strategic way. It involves copywriting with the right messages. It's all coming from you, but this is where when we're helping people, we develop the messaging with them, make sure that it's airtight. It's a series of messages that goes out designed to connect and get into conversation. So you need to have this connection campaign going on. We move it off into a proprietary dashboard. So you have to find a way to keep it organized. This is an outreach lead generation campaign, and it's a connection campaign. And you shouldn't be spending all day doing this. Obviously, you have to work and do your main business. So you've just got to build efficiency, scaling automation where you can into this process of building up a community of these top prospects who you want to engage with. So then another way that you pull them into your ecosystem is with virtual events. These are great, love them. And this is where you're putting on consistent virtual events to deliver value, build authority, engage. And as you're connecting with these people on LinkedIn, their first level connections, now you can invite your first level connections to your virtual events. And you're delivering value on topics they care about. And so again, a whole nother discussion about virtual events, how to structure that. That's another episode I did, but broad brushstroke, this is another channel of your ecosystem is virtual events to pull them in. And done right, it's a fantastic way to engage. The LinkedIn events feature is awesome. We all have it. So when you're doing your events, you integrate the LinkedIn virtual events feature and you are inviting first level connections. So you've got that part of your ecosystem running too. And then what you want to do is with this top prospect list is engage through Sales Navigator. This is a huge part that people miss is these are top prospects. You're reaching out, you've got them saved as a search list in Sales Navigator. And if as you're saving them as a lead list in Sales Navigator and you're getting connected on a first level basis, you start to engage with them. You've got to reach out on LinkedIn through Sales Navigator, be proactive. And you got to spend at least 15, 20 minutes a day engaging with your top prospects on a platform. Again, very few people do this. They sit there. It's like in real life. They walk into a networking event. They stand in the corner and wait for people to come to them. That doesn't work. LinkedIn's the same way. You've got to get out there. make some noise, be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. And so you've got to engage on the platform in a very proactive way. But again, not a time-sucking thing where it's all day. So very important, your top prospects, all of this ecosystem engagement is as good as your list. And so if you've got tight parameters you're going after and you want to network and get them into your ecosystem, spend a lot of time on number one, get your lead list airtight and have the right tools to find those people. And if it's going to be off of the LinkedIn platform, to go find them and niche down and then add them once you've found them with an outside service, that is a great strategy. Take some labor to make it happen, but it works. And that way your messaging can be more tailored because you have the exact specific group. Your conversion rates for getting people on phone calls and attending your events and signing up for your business are much higher when you spend the time to do it this way. As always, if you have questions, hit me up. Love learning about other people's businesses and diving in, giving you my input. Would love to do it. Thanks.